Right now on ABC 10 News at 4, we are following a shooting at a school in Tennessee that left one person dead and a police officer among the injured. Back here at home, San Diego Unified students finally returned to in-person learning. We're going to talk with students about their experience back in the classroom today. And inside the preparations made before the schools reopened today, our exclusive interview with School Board President Richard Barrera.
ABC 10 News starts now with breaking news.
That breaking news, one person is now detained following a shooting at a high school in Knoxville, Tennessee. This has been unfolding all afternoon. Officers responded to the school after reports of a man who was possibly armed inside. Now, as those officers approached the suspect, we're told that shots were fired. One person died. Gunfire also hit a police officer who is now in the hospital. We're told that he is in stable condition. Police say there are no other victims. You can keep track of any new developments on this shooting by going to 10news.com.
It was really good to be back in class and see people in person again.
Happy kids. Thousands of local students are back home tonight after sitting inside their classrooms for the first time in more than a year. Our ABC 10 News reporter Jennifer Kastner spoke to both high school students and elementary school students this afternoon about their first day back. She joins us from Dalyard Elementary School in San Carlos. Jen.
Yeah, Steve, we talked to both students and to parents, and parents were especially excited to get their kids back into the classroom. Here at Dalyard Elementary School, the staff tried to create a really welcoming environment for students today with the welcome home signs and with the balloons. Excitement and relief Monday from parents at Dalyard Elementary School in San Carlos, following day one of their kids being back in the classroom since the start of the pandemic.
So I think that it was awesome.
At nearby Patrick Henry High School, hundreds of students were seen leaving campus in the afternoon.
Did you feel safe?
Oh yeah, totally.
16-year-old Adam McHugh said it was a welcome change from virtual learning.
I think it's a lot more effective, yeah. In English class, we learned a lot more. We get to have integrated talks that's not blocked out because of internet issues.
His sister, senior Quinn McHugh, still has reservations.
I don't know if I'm gonna stay at school because I just have a germ thing, but the classes were nice. There were only 5 people in my classes, which I thought it was gonna be more.
Both Dalyard and Henry are part of San Diego Unified, the region's largest district. Monday, the district started bringing back about half of its 100,000 students for on-campus instruction for either 2 or 4 days a week, with a major emphasis on COVID safety measures, including smaller classes and social distancing to prevent outbreaks. But according to the San Diego Education Association, the teachers union, if 2 or 3 cases are linked to a class, the entire class will be placed on quarantine. If a quarter of the school has cases, the entire school will be placed in quarantine. The district has teamed up with UC San Diego Health to get students tested once every 2 weeks. Despite the protocols, McHugh said she may return to online instruction, but added that the learning environment that she saw Monday was a positive one.
I liked it, and I liked being able to see the teachers. It was very safe. I liked all the seats were spaced out and stuff.
And the district is still working on getting us final numbers for just how many students showed up today at both Dalyard Elementary and at Patrick Henry High School. Reporting live tonight, Jennifer Kastner, ABC 10 News.
Jen, thank you. San Diego Unified was not the only district that welcomed students back for in-person learning today. The San Ysidro School District, Sweetwater Union High School District, and the Chula Vista Elementary School District all did the same. They each started their in-person hybrid learning programs. And coming up at 4:30, we answer your questions about what to expect this week with schools reopening. Our exclusive interview with School Board President Richard Barrera. And for the first time in more than a year, SeaWorld San Diego is officially back open as a theme park. Now, SeaWorld is capped at 25% capacity, roughly about 9,000 people. Our ABC 10 News reporter Mimi Alcala is joining us now from the park. And Mimi, SeaWorld, it's been operating as what the park officials describe as a zoo for several months, but now those rides are back open.
Yeah, Stephen, as of today, it is officially a theme park once again. We're standing in front of the electric eel, and I want to get out of the way to show you this. This is one of the most popular rides at this park that is now back open, and people we spoke to just could not wait to get back on.
I used to come here every weekend, so super great to be back here.
After more than a year, San Diegan Noah Peters is thrilled to be one of the first back on the popular electric eel at SeaWorld. Before the pandemic hit, this ride was his go-to.
Yeah, I've been on it over 100 times.
There are still social distancing rules, so things do look a little different and masks are required at all times.
They're only loading the front, middle, and back, all of which are good rows.
The electric eel, tentacle twirl, and the smaller rides in the Sesame Street Bay of Play are back up and running. A little something for visitors of all ages.
It just felt good to be on the ride, and we're having so much fun out here.
It's exciting that they're opening back up.
Other thrill rides like Journey to Atlantis are still closed but expected to reopen in the coming months. In the orange tier, amusement parks can operate at 25% capacity, which is up from the 15% that was allowed in the red tier. But up until now, SeaWorld was only open as a zoo and aquarium.
I think the attitude here is hopeful. We are really hopeful and optimistic that we are moving in the right direction.
The park's vice president, Corinne Brindley, says with more rides back open and more people visiting comes new jobs. About 50 new employees started over the weekend, and dozens more are expected to start midweek.
We are busy hiring. We'll be hiring about 1,000 people for both this park and Aquatica down in Chula Vista.
And right now, the park is only open to California residents. And for SoCal residents, a special pass did go on sale today for $9 a month. People can enjoy unlimited rides for a year and also 50% off of parking. We're live at SeaWorld. Mimi Alcala, ABC 10 News.
Mimi, thank you. More trouble for the Vaccination Superstation at the Del Mar Fairgrounds. The site will be closed again for several days this week. The dates you're going to see on your screen, it will be closed Wednesday, Friday, and through the weekend. Again, this is because of the low number of vaccine doses delivered to Scripps Health, which runs that site. By the way, this Del Mar site has only been open 6 days of the 12 days so far this month. Appointments will automatically be rescheduled through the MyTurn online appointment system. More San Diegans, though, they can get vaccinated this week without an appointment. Borderview Family YMCA is giving out Pfizer doses today and tomorrow. This is located on Array Drive in Otay Mesa West. Shots will be given on a first-come, first-served basis. Mountain View Educational Cultural Complex will also host a no-appointment vaccine event tomorrow. That will start at 9:30 in the morning and will go until there are no doses left. In the meantime, the company Regeneron says its COVID-19 antibody cocktail prevents symptoms of COVID. Data from phase 3 of the trials found infections were down by 81%. That trial studied more than 1,500 people who had not been infected but lived with someone who did test positive. The company says there was 72% protection against symptomatic infections in the first week and 93% protection in subsequent weeks. Those who did get the symptoms had them resolved in about a week. And you can stay up to date on the latest with the pandemic with our ABC 10 News mobile app. It's free in the App Store. Just search 10 News. And we have new information on the Imperial County crash that killed 13 migrants last month. Testimony released today says the driver of an SUV that was packed with 25 people, it stopped or it slowed down before a tractor trailer slammed into it. The victims were from Mexico and Guatemala. Jose Cruz Noguez of Mexicali was arrested in connection with the deadly crash. He was charged with several smuggling counts and other crimes. And the city of Minneapolis is on edge tonight after a black man was fatally shot by a police officer on Sunday. Police say they were trying to take 20-year-old Dante Wright into custody during a traffic stop after learning he had outstanding warrants. There was a struggle, and as Wright tried to get back into his car, the officer can be heard yelling, "Taser, taser." The police officer says, the police chief that is, says the officer who fired intended to use a taser, not a handgun.
This appears to me, from what I viewed and the officer's reaction and distress immediately after, that this was an accidental discharge.
The shooting sparked protest on Sunday night. This all happened just miles away from the very same courthouse where former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin is currently on trial in the death of George Floyd.
The judge in the trial of Derek Chauvin has denied a motion for the jurors to be sequestered. Chauvin's lawyer wanted jurors to stay at a hotel following news of the police shooting of a black man, Dante Wright, last night during a traffic stop. It happened just outside Minneapolis in Brooklyn Center. Chauvin's lawyer argued the news could influence the jury's decision. However, the judge says a full sequester will not happen until closing arguments as planned. The judge previously asked jurors to avoid news during the trial. And a group that started bailing out protesters after the uprising last summer is on the ground in Brooklyn Center now. The Minnesota Freedom Fund received widespread attention after the death of George Floyd.
We need to be able to do George Floyd justice, as well as all of the members of our community who are oppressed, who are harmed because these systems of oppression exist still.
Maria Ceja Orozco is one of the new paid members of the Minnesota Freedom Fund. Before last summer, she was one of 8 volunteers. At that time, the group had only 1 paid member and a small bail budget. When word spread they were bailing out protesters demonstrating in the name of George Floyd, millions of dollars in donations poured in from all over the world. Now the group is able to put a full-time focus on bigger goals like ending cash bail for the entire state of Minnesota.
We don't want to keep feeding the system. Obviously, we want to use the money that we've received to pay the bails and bonds that exist as much as we can. But instead of just feeding the system, we want to end it like where it begins.
Their new full-time staff come with backgrounds working with the ACLU. Ceja Orozco is an immigration attorney. She's focused on helping immigrants going through court systems without representation and facing deportation.
The youngest person that I've personally seen in court was about 5 years old. And they were unrepresented. And luckily, people stepped up because it was just so devastating to witness a child sit there and clearly, had no understanding of what was going on.
The Minnesota Freedom Fund has now spent nearly $18 million in donations on criminal and immigration bail and bonds. They've donated to other groups across the country, including $4.5 million to the National Bail Fund Network. The group believes that cash bail criminalizes poverty, not only by keeping people in jail longer, often resulting in job loss, but also promoting plea deals just so the person can leave jail.